Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Trade Ideas live trading room for Friday, August the 7th. My name is Barry Enerson, moderator of your trading room. Let's do a quick sound check. Make sure you guys can hear me. Okay, well, guys, I hope, and I just posted up there about the rocket, the RKT. Hope some of you swung that. So I got back into this. If you were in the room yesterday, you know that I did have it, and then I got out of it, and then I was saying, well, depends how it closes, I will get back in it. And so right on that move here, I got back in at 2140 just before the market closed. And wow, 24.77 right now. I have sold some just over 24.42. I thought the symmetry a little over $3 looked nice. So who knows where this is going? There are a tremendous number of big names behind this, like the Goldman Sachs, the JP Morgans, I think Morgan Stanley. I may be wrong on the JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley. It's one or the other, but lots and lots of big names behind this RKT. And also you notice the chart has been fixed. No longer do we see the previous RKT as a straight line. On the top here, now, let's take a look at other things that are happening. CEMI, what a dog. We've been waiting for this one to break 6 forever. Well, it doesn't look like it's going to. This is actually an earnings play. Earnings play, CEMI, and it is gap down pretty big on earnings. ABUS, ABUS, ABUS. ABUS is also gap down on earnings. Interesting level for it to try to hold, guys. Take a look at right down there, 364. If it takes that out, you know, the 200-day moving average is way down here. Plug is a continuation play, at least it was. Plug is a continuation play. It was a little bit better when it was up here, 1127. Look, the percentages were a little bit better. Yeah, the ANPC, I don't have it listed here. I can't remember why I don't have it listed here, but yeah, the ANPC is obviously something to keep an eye on. It you know, it hasn't moved very much. I mean, it did hit 14. Shouldn't say it hasn't moved very much. It did hit 14. I'm talking about in the last little while. When I first saw it, it was just sort of sitting around 11. Just a second here, guys. Okay, Uber. Sorry about that, guys. Just answering. Uber is another earnings play. It is gapping down on earnings. Uber gapping down on earnings. Another area for it to try to hold. If it doesn't, there's the 200-day moving average. So it is It's getting closer to the 200-day moving average. Okay, well, what do you think? Hey, Al, what do you think about ANPC? I mean, at some point you just have to look at the chart, and so there it is. Its all-time high is up here at 1203. I don't know. What do you think? Does it still have room to get up here? True. Another earnings play. It had gapped up. Actually, it's still gapped up, but at one point it was up to 646, but it is starting to pull back a little bit now. True is an earnings play. KZIA. I don't think I saw any news on KZIA. I couldn't find any anyway. I don't. Okay, hits. Okay, so it's got a rare pediatric disease designation. Okay, so I guess that is the news for it. And that's KZIA. CAPR is a gap down on earnings. E-gap down on earnings. Trying to rebound a little bit here. PSTV, a little PSTV, cheap one. I think what they've done here, so they're supposed to be releasing on the 10th, and I believe they've kind of pre-released a little bit of information, but it has pulled back quite a bit. It hit 5, it's back down to 380 PSTV, low float situation. Yeah, I do see OPGN here. It is on my gappers, yeah, right there. It is on my gappers. Just starting to, as you say, creep up. Mike. You're a funny man, Mike. Give me a second here while I make a small change to one of my symbol lists. Man, Rocket took out 25 briefly. Look at the volume coming in too. RKT. Look at the volume coming in right there. Biggest volume bar of the pre-market so far. It's going to trade a lot. Candy, KNDI, is still active. Had a great day yesterday. Looks like it could have a continuation day today. Remember now, a few days ago, it got all the way up to 1740. Tencent, of course, with this little war, China and US regarding TikTok, etc. TME is kind of caught in this. I also noticed that they have a 5% stake in Tesla. It's rather interesting. So that's TME. And they also have a stake in Spotify. Now, somebody has to explain to me why these guys are still around. Groupon, what a pop here, 31%, big volume. It released earnings. I mean, years ago, you used to get all these coupons in your email every single day from Groupon, but I don't know how they're still around. But anyway, there's a huge pop for this company. Only 24 million in the float. I'm sure that, I'm 100% sure they did a reverse split a little while ago. But that's a great gap, and it's holding. Well, I understand that, but I mean, it seems to be antiquated now, but what do I know? Okay, Groupon, Pen. Oh, Pen is another one. Sorry, Pen is another one that I noticed was. It's all right. Pen was another one that I noticed had gapped up also. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm a little distracted here. Just going to take a look to see what sort of upgrades and downgrades we have this morning. Okay, we have a few upgrades and a few more downgrades this morning. So let's take a look. I'll get some of them in here. I see First Solar, which was the trade of the week. I think it was last week, wasn't it? Didn't trigger, but it's getting an upgrade. Okay, there are, did I type it in wrong? It's, yeah, PSTV. Did I type it in wrong? It's PSTV. If I typed it in PSVT, then it's wrong, yes. Yeah, no, it didn't trigger. I just happened to notice though that it had an upgrade this morning. All right, let me get the downgrades in now. There are some, they're just lines I put on the chart for different levels. I just added them myself. I don't know why. I mean, this is a long time ago, probably. I have no idea, at this point, why I added them in. They're just horizontal lines that you can put in the properties or markup. Sorry, markup. So if I wanted to, for instance, a lot of times what I do is when I do my videos, for instance, here, this horizontal line, so when I do my videos, this shows me when I got into the trade yesterday. This shows me where I got out some this morning. That's all. It's just nothing more, nothing less. No, nothing more, nothing less. Just lines that I have personally put on for whatever reason. All right, let me get the downgrades in now. Okay, a couple of downgrades for ILMN. I'm going to see what's happening with that one. ILMN. All right, there are some of the upgrades. Some are the downgrades from briefing.com this morning. Okay, one more. I just have to do something with a symbol list. Okay, Canadian Solar. Look at Canadian Solar. CSIQ is gapping up on earnings. Didn't really see this one. I don't know exactly why, but anyway, CSIQ is gapping up on earnings. This could be an interesting one, guys. If it takes this out, this 2586. If it can somehow get through this area right there, it's not that far away. I know it's up. It's not up that much. It's only 6.9%. So I mean, if it shoots up through this 20, in fact, that's what I'm going to do. Just stick an alert around 25.91 for CSIQ. See if it can take this out, and then you look left, and it has some room. Yeah, I'm not obviously just a complete story stock with the Moderna. Wow, rocket over 25 now. I have to bring that up again. Let me just look at one thing here. Just want to see this IPO on the rocket again. So this is what really caught my eye, guys. I mean, look who's involved. Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Credit Suisse, JP Morgan, RBC, Allen, Barclays, Citigroup. I mean, they're UBS. I mean, big names. The co-managers. I mean, there's some guys I do recognize, but look at these names. Doesn't always 100% mean that a stock is going to be supported, but it can't hurt. How's that? It can't hurt. All right, so let's take a look here. If you want to watch my watch list up and down and the repeating, just click on New, Channel Bar, and then my watch list, Barry's watch list right there. Again, everything here is a layout. Make sure you save your layout to the cloud before you do that. You can only have one layout loaded at a time. Therefore, your layout would be replaced by anything you click in the channel bar. It's okay as long as you save it to your layout to the cloud ahead of time. And always, nothing will show up in these two windows until at least 9:45. Okay, at least 9:45. I have a purposeful delay on it, 15 minutes. Don't want to see anything in these windows until 9:45. Doesn't mean we'll get something at 9:45, but definitely won't get anything before then. Yeah, this one is not shortable for me, ANPS, unfortunately. ANPC, not shortable. Looks like it's really going to fade now. Yeah, it appears that way. Yes, it looks like it did get up to 678. You're talking about PSTV. Just before we get our data. Yeah, it looks like it was around 645. All right, guys, I'm going to get rid of these two right here. And so these are, I kept these overnight. This is in the simulator, okay, the swing trade. So obviously I wish I had a little more rocket. Again, this is just in, this is the demo, the swing trade, simulated trading, okay. So now I found out, I guess it's been, I guess there's kind of a war between the Canadian aluminum companies and the U.S. Companies. I guess the White House has slapped a 10% tariff. I'm sure that was before, and I guess that's why the aluminum companies were doing a little bit better. I didn't really see that news before, but that now makes sense to show why the aluminum sector was really making a big run. All right, guys, market is going to open in less than 1 minute. Let's have a great end to this trading week. One moment, please. All right, guys, I'm back. Yeah, that Groupon is, I mean, it's pretty interesting. The gap is kind of holding. It's, well, looking on the 15-minute chart. It is shortable. It is shortable, so I'm definitely watching that as a potential short, though, too. It's got room, obviously, on both sides. I mean, if it wants to keep running, it's got a ton of room. We are now open, so let's have, I say, a great end of this week's trading. Yeah, I'm with you, Real. I mean, I don't quite get it. Yeah, that's on the Groupon. True, nice volume coming into True right on the open. Another earnings play through the 200-day moving average. Teradata, Real mentioned that one. Obviously got a ton of room if it wants to keep going. Looking left on that weekly chart, 25, what is it, 25.69. So it's about $1 away from the week's high, from that week's high. So that might stall it. Boy, Rocket is, I was wondering if it's going to hold 25. Doing a pretty good job at holding 25. RKT. Boy, look at the volume coming into Rocket also. Look at the volume, guys. We can call this a certified winner no matter where you got in yesterday now, no matter where you got in. Well, guys, I had to take some more out. I mean, I just had to do it. I don't know where this is going. 26.50. That's from 2140 yesterday. All right, so I'm watching also JMIA. What a interesting morning it's had so far. Got all the way down to 16 something, pops up to 1739. True, big volume. Look at the volume coming in right there. This is an earnings play. Yeah, I did change it. You don't have to, okay? You do not have to, but I did change it to, I think, 45, just to see. All right, there's CSIQ. Ah, this is the big level, guys. Look at this. Look at this last 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, sorry, 2 weeks ago. That's the high 2 weeks ago. Okay, and ANPC looks like it still wants to kind of fade. There are no shorts available for me. OLED, wow, what an expensive one. OLED got halted actually. It's an earnings play. Okay, True has been pretty jumpy. You can see right there, it had the big topping tail. It dropped all the way back down. It is now making new high again for True. Not a low float, 94 million in the float. I don't know. Haven't they done reverse splits or things like that? I really don't know, Michael. No idea. I do not know the answer to that. No, look at DVAX. Look at DVAX is tanking here. Really not that much action. Actually, it had tanked in the pre-market or after hours yesterday. Look at this move down. This is not shortable for me. The big red dot at IB, it is actually not shortable. Well, I don't know if I don't know if there's such a thing as a best. I mean, you know, right now it is pretty choppy. I mean, look at these topping tails, okay? Remember what this means. The buyers took it up, sellers knocked it down, buyers took it up, sellers knocked it down. So you just have to wait a little bit to see how it settles down. Otherwise, you know, if you just buy it now, you're hoping it's going to keep going up, of course, but look at DVAX, guys. Wow. Earnings play. But not shortable for me. Yeah, I mean, it's hard in the first 15 minutes, you know, I mean, look at this. I mean, these are big topping tails right now. So right as we speak, the sellers are in control a little bit. You know, all depends on what happens on that candle here. Well, it's a little early, but I am interested in the one that starts with the letter C from the AI. Just watching how it's trading. All right, guys. Well, I'm in it. I don't like taking this early, but it looks like it's going to move. And of course, it's an earnings play. And that's the one that starts with the letter C. I've just taken some off too. Again, if you're wondering why I'm being cryptic, not fair for those who pay for the premium service. If I'm just going to display it all day long. Well, if you have the AI, it's the one that starts with the letter, well, the first one at 9:35 that starts with the letter C. But I've already traded some out. You know, I don't like getting in that this early. And I can always get back in. SRG, guys, I should have mentioned this maybe. This is actually a merger with third point. That's why this was up this morning. SRG, it's a merger with Third Point. But it's starting to drop here quite a bit. Quite a bit. Merger off? I'm sorry. I am sorry. It is not SRG. I'm very sorry. SRG is an earnings play. It was SG. SG is the merger with Third Point. Shoot, I wanted to watch this one a little earlier. Sono on the way down. It was earnings play on the 5th. Not a great reaction, of course. And now moving down. Actually, this was the reaction. This was the 5th. Yeah, actually a good reaction. But then yesterday it just gave it up. And now look at this now for Sono. So guys, I have just a little piece of this rocket left, okay, in case, you know, it does something really, really crazy. Now, you know that Carve, if you're looking at Carve because it's in the AI, you know the AI was predicting a short on it. So just so you know. Here's CBay. Look at CBay. What a run it's had. CBay's had a tremendous run. All right, so I'm still looking. I'm completely out of that first one, and I'm going to watch it to see if it takes out that whole number again. That's the 935 C alert from the AI. So I don't like trading that early. Yeah, I think this would have been a nice. Actually, it is. Okay, the red dot is gone, but it still means they're gonna have to locate shorts for you. So the red dot is gone for shorting A and PC at Interactive Brokers. I mean, I can't speak for other brokers, of course, but yeah, look at this. I mean, that was kind of the tell, guys. I mean, you look at these topping tails on that true. Sellers kept knocking it down. So now they are in control for a while anyway. Okay, CNDT is an earnings play. Look at the volume. It's a big float though, 197 million in the float. Yeah, very few people will have shorts available for RKT. You know, I will see sometimes. Maybe the next day or 3 days after an IPO, 2 or 3 days after the IPO at Interactive Brokers, but it's not common. So I'm only speaking for IB. No, guys, A-Bus has no support right now, really, until you get down to this 270 level. It's an earnings play. ATHE is trying to come back here. Remember this 3 days ago, crazy day. Low float, 14 million in the float. Okay, SSNT just got halted here. Wow, if it, what's the open going to look like? 532, 532. This could start to rip. Again, another one of those that had big day about 3 days ago. Not about, it was 3 days ago. 346 or so, the high. Closed way down here. Drifted down the last 2 days. Trying to come back a little bit. And it is halted, and if we can believe this, there's the 535, 535. Again, this is from Interactive Brokers. Your broker will have something very similar. This is time and sales. Celsius, this CELH, continues its move. Started on the 6th with earnings, continued. Maybe he was just asking to see if shorts were available, to see if shorts would start piling in, maybe helping to depress the stock. Maybe he was asking for that reason. Maybe keep an eye on GES, GES. If it takes out yesterday's high, which is about 12, just over 12, about 12.23, I'm going to stick an alert right there. If it does that, it does have some room looking left on the weekly chart. 1368 is the high, looking left on the weekly chart. Shoot, I missed my short on ABUS. Oh man, BHC had the earnings play yesterday. Looked good for a while, but sold way off. It's continuing its sell now. It's almost a green bar ignored on that 5-minute chart. It's right at that whole number, and looking left on the daily chart, 1893. If it takes out 1893, I'm going to stick an alert around 1889 for BHC. See if it takes that out. If it does, it has some room down to 18 or so. Another earnings play, ADMS. After hours, released after hours yesterday. Look at this, what a gap for ADMS. This has room. Let's see, the weekly chart right there, it says 368, so another few more pennies to go to take that out. BHC getting closer to this little area. It doesn't have a ton of room. I mean, 18 is not bad if it got down there from 19, of course, but rather not see that there. I'd rather see it all the way down to here, 17. Pitney Bowes. Wow, Pitney Bowes, look at this. Continuing, PBI continues here. Boy, PBI. Okay, guys, again, another word about the CSIQ, all right? Now, again, I know I'm repeating myself over and over and over again. There was the alert, 25.92 to go long. The stock hit 26.48, okay? Now, I was in at 26.14 and I sold out at 26.40. I mean, nothing fantastic, but still a profit. Now, the AI did not get out, did not take any profit on the way down, and actually took a loss on this. And I'm just saying, I don't think that's a way you would trade this. If you got into this, and you're in a profit position, at the very least, you should be flat, in my opinion. Well, I'm holding a piece. I'm out most of my rocket, okay? But I'm holding a little piece in case it does something incredible. But I was in yesterday late in the day at 21.40. I sold this morning in the pre-market at 24.42 and then 26.50. So, yeah, I mean, I just have a little piece just in case it does something crazy. Okay, guys, I'm watching the BHC here. It got down to the level I was looking at. It popped up a little bit. Let's see how well it holds under 19. That's the BHC. You mean the previous weeks? FSLR? I did say it had an upgrade this morning. Yeah, never triggered. Yeah, again, wake me if it ever takes out that 200-day moving average for semi. Okay, I'm watching BHC as it's bouncing a little bit here. I want to see if it takes out 19 again. Stick an alert just underneath. Look at PBI, Pitney Bowes. This was an earnings play on the 30th. Oh, CNDT is just ripping here. Just watching BHC, guys, to see if it takes out 19 again. If not, I'll just leave it alone. All right, let's take a look at PBI. I mean, what do we got going here on that monthly chart? 625 is the high right there. After that, I mean, 7. So, I mean, it's right at that high a few months ago. Boy, PBI, it's amazing. Look at the week it's had. It's a big float too, 171 million in the float. All right, so these ones are getting frisky again. The Carver, and how's U1 doing? Oops. Yeah, they're getting some play again. And Carve just got halted. Be awfully careful, guys. I mean, 1.3 million in the float. Okay, just watching some of these early alerts. I haven't even paid attention to them, haven't had time. It's not 100% gain, okay? When the stock is halted, and this is not 100%, but all you can do is look at the time and sales. Something like this. This is what it's stacking up to be right now, 785, 785. Okay, 790, 790. There's no 100% guarantee. You know, this will change as it gets closer to the resume, which is typically in 5 minutes from the halt, typically. You see it's 8.8 right now, but you see how it's changing. So it's not like it's a hard and fast rule that this will be the price. And again, Interactive Brokers, guys. This is not something from Trade Ideas. Every broker has something like that. Sniper, you certainly can. Meanwhile, AAOI on the way down. August the 6th, pre-market, they released earnings. Look at the SPY. So I didn't even really see what the SPY was doing. So the indices are down. NAS is down just a touch. SPY is down a little. Dow's down a little. Boy, look at Groupon. My goodness. What a 3-bar pullback on the 15s. Well, I'm definitely interested in this OPGN right there. I mean, it hasn't quite moved. It did hit a high in the pre-market of 293, so almost 3. I'm going to back this weekly chart out. Yeah, it's not a... Yeah, right there, 280, another high. It might have some room to get to the 3 level. Shouldn't be bad on a percentage basis for OPGN. Low float, 15 million in the float. Well, there's no hard and fast rule again on that, but typically, but just, you know, have your finger right on the pulse of it, okay? Because typically the first halt is usually okay. You know, you usually can get a little pop, but just be careful. If it is a 5-minute halt, it'll be opening just after 10 o'clock, 10:01:43. So in less than a minute, if it's a 5-minute halt. That's what I'm talking about right there. There's the halt at 9:56. Typically, these are 5-minute halts, so just at 5 minutes, so 10:01 plus 43 seconds. So we're getting close if it's a 5-minute halt. Yeah, let's just put it up here. And it should open now. There it went. Okay, so it's... Okay, there's your pop. Now, so be careful. I mean, you know, you don't know what it's going to do from here. But you're in the money, obviously. You know what, Michael? info@trade-ideas.com. I don't like it either. Coming from a customer... Okay. I did see this one, TRVN. I did see this one in the pre-market. It was up, but it's kind of a cheap one and was starting to drift, and now look at it. So it was up for the day, and now it is down. One second, please. Okay, now, Sniper, you don't have to buy B+. You know that. Maybe you don't know that. B+ is we don't charge for it anymore, just in case you weren't sure. All right, just watching this little pullback for OPGN. See if this continues, or can 250 hold and bounce. If not, I'm just going to forget about it. All right, a little red bar right here for the SPY. PMT on the way down. This is also an earnings play. Volume is starting to pick up, PMT. This has a little bit of room still, guys. CNDT to the 5 mark. You look at that weekly chart, we have some highs right around there. I wish this one had been immediately shortable at EIB. That's the ANPC. So Pays has earnings next week. Pays has earnings next week. Yeah, you can turn. Yeah, absolutely. You can turn the strategy off. Absolutely, if you don't want to take any more alerts from it, Ralph. It'll. Yeah, I mean, once you've placed the trade, then you know all those conditions will remain. So you can turn the strategy off. That happens a lot. You know, people don't want to trade anymore in that particular strategy, but their current positions are still active, and the stops, whatever you've done, will be. PSLV, look at silver. Silver is getting whacked here. So the answer is yes. Are you trading your live account? Just make sure, okay? You know, are you trading the live money, or are you talking about in the simulator? You know, because I just keep an eye on it, okay? I mean, I'm almost 100% sure, but just keep an eye on it. Man, CNGT just on a mission right now. This is not shortable for me. Finding a lot now, not shortable at IB for some of these. Well, remember what the cloud means, Ralph. I mean, it's everybody's cloud is unique. So even if mine is saved to the cloud, if you want some of my strategies or my Windows scanners, you'd have to come into the trading room. I'll give you the link for it. Unfortunately, it's hard for me to share those links in the YouTube feed. So if you come into the trading room, okay, OPGN right back up. And then if you're watching my screen, you'll see I've got scans here. I've got all the scans here. And I've also got in the room drive icon, scans that I share, download. So if you come into the room, you can pick and choose whatever ones you want. All right, keep an eye. Again, this Celsius, it's an all-time high, of course. After hours, it's actually taken out the after hours high. Yeah, I'm not a big sub $1 trader, so I really can't shine anything on the MTNB. I mean, it's not doing anything. I mean, good volume, 1.8 times normal. It's a huge float for a, under $1 to have 170 million in the float. That's a lot in the float. To me, nothing's going to happen until it takes out a dollar. Sorry. Most of the time when people ask me, it means that they're either in it. Why couldn't this have been shortable? Look at this. And your broker had shorts immediately, William, for ANPC. All right, TRVN just got halted, I think on the way, or I'm sorry, it resumed, I'm sorry. Yeah, it got halted on the way down, so it's trying to bounce a little bit here. I don't see any specific news for TRVN. Really? When? You have to do a locate though, Ralph, right? They weren't readily available, I don't think, anyway. When I looked this morning, there was a big red dot, and then it turned to the faded green, which means, yeah, we'll have to find shorts for you. I never do that. Okay, I'll be back in one moment. MGNI, what are you doing? MGNI? Another earnings play, another little company you've not really heard of before. MGNI. Great volume, 1 million shares. See this typically? I mean, 3 times normal. Actually, this one does trade. I thought maybe this one really wasn't trading, doesn't trade that much, but it actually does trade fair amount. Look at all the previous days. So a lot of times you'll see a company like this you don't hear very much about. It has a huge volume day compared to the earlier ones, but not really in this case. I don't know if this was an IPO here. And if it was, then this will probably be its first earnings release. Well, it definitely has some room if it really wants to get going. I mean, the next high looking left on that weekly is about $10. Actually, $9.49, I guess. So it could be an interesting continuation play next week if it can hold this gap and get close here and then start to fill in here. Probably the best way is right here. Click on New AI/Holly Strategy Trades window. That one right there. Then that'll give you the P&L for all 3 segments. Keep an eye on the CELH, guys. I mean, well, actually, what a great alert from 21:54. I didn't realize it was so low here on that alert. This could be I mean, it's had 3 great days. I mean, earnings on the 6th, continuation. I'm sorry. So this was ahead. What? Pre-market, the 6th. So this was a pre-market yesterday. There was a little bit of anticipation ahead of time. Great reaction, continuation. So just checking to see how these are doing. Actually, so the watch list is actually produced pretty well. There's the original alert, 21:54 at 9:45 for CELH. There it is at 22:21. CNDT, the alert was at 4:10. The stock got up to, wow, 466. If I could only pay more attention. OPGN hasn't moved that much, 258, 267. And Groupon, 2344, 2380. So the watch list has actually been producing extremely well today. And again, if you want to see this, new channel bar, my watch list, Barry's watch list. Everything here is a layout, so make sure you save your layout to the cloud before you click on anything in the channel bar, please. You can only have one layout loaded at a time, so make sure you save your layout to the cloud first. Oh no, it's generic. It doesn't. Yeah, it's generic JBACs. There goes CELH, guys. Okay, so the OPGN, I mean, it has some room to 3, okay? Not a lot. So you're getting close. All right, so if you are long anything that really kind of tracks the market, you know, not these guys. I mean, these little ones, they don't really care what the overall market's doing. But look at the big red bar now forming on the SPY. That's a 15-minute candle. That's a big, big red bar right now, okay? So, well, it's getting closer and closer. There's that high. The pre-market high was 292 for OPGN. One layout on a monitor every day. I'm not sure I know what you mean. First of all, I think once you get used to using trade ideas, you will not be going into the channel bar over and over and over again, okay? What you'll eventually do is settle on a layout. You know, this is a layout that I use virtually every single day. You know, you don't see me going into the channel bar over and over and over again. Typically, if you're new to trade ideas, you can go into the channel bar and start looking at the individual scanners within each channel. And if you see something you like, for instance, you know, let's just say you click on my watch list and you like this, so you could save it to the cloud. And then you can go to another channel, see a scanner that you like, you save it to the cloud. And you start amassing individual windows, and then you can start bringing them back one by one, and that could constitute your layout. Well, obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously, but a red bar means, yeah, I mean, it's sellers. Sellers are coming in. Well, look at this, 21.54, 21, almost $1 on that one. BHC went without me. There's so much happening. Meanwhile, Vroom, VRRM. I remember this one now. This was, I don't know if it was an IPO or, no, it was as I recall, I think they assumed the symbol. Is that correct? Well, it depends. I mean, Smart Home of Tampa, if you're in a stock that typically maybe, you know, follows what the overall market is doing, not trading on its own, as we always talk about these little stocks, these little bios, they're kind of trading on their own. They don't care what the overall market's doing. All right. But if you're in a stock like, you know, Facebook, okay, or I mean, I don't know if Facebook is moving down, but you know, Facebook is a bad example, obviously, but I mean, with the market moving down, you'll see a lot of stocks that kind of track the market will be following this. But if you're in, these stocks, I mean, they're dancing to their own beat, they don't care about what the overall market's doing. That's what Trade Ideas is excellent at finding what we call the alpha stocks. Now, within reason. I mean, if the market is crashing, I mean, probably nothing is going to, if you want to go long, nothing is going to really work. But I mean, this is not a crash. This is just if you remember yesterday, I was in, you probably don't remember, but I was in an ARNC trade and it was looking good. And all of a sudden the market put in a big red bar, and that basically ARNC was tracking the market. Got me out of that trade, as an example. There's no video on how to trade with the AI JBacks, okay? I mean, everybody uses it in different ways. Remember what I was saying about the CSIQ? You could take that trade, but are you trying to tell me, when I say you, it gets up to 26.51 from 25.92. AI didn't get out. AI got out for a loss. So that is not the way to trade that one. Man a machine, use it as a watch list and manage the exits on your own. There's no video, because I could have 10 different people trading the AI 10 different ways. All I would recommend is that you have this window up and running all day long, and you track the ones that are near the top, because they can set up later on in the day. Maybe they have a pullback. I use it as a watch list. Look at CELH, guys. You can obviously tell that this is maybe one that I'm in. But I mean, look at the... Wow. Even the Groupon it had a pullback, but I think that was even almost $1, 23.44. Yeah, wow. I mean, almost $1.50. So if you're wondering why I create the watch list, it is especially, if I could spend more time watching it, it's probably all I would do. But for people who are, they get overwhelmed by the number of alerts that you can get with Trade Ideas. So I created the watch list. It has I would say usually no more than 10 in a combination of the ones that are up and the ones that are down. So it gives you just a small number of stocks that you can concentrate on during the day. Yeah, I know. That's the whole TikTok thing with Facebook, yes. So that's why that was not a good example. Well, guys, OPGN right at the high now of the pre-market. This is one I'm not in. I just lost sight of it. I wanted to get in on that break right there, 258 as it pulled back down, and concentration level sometimes when you're doing as many things, it's just not there. Well, so much for that high of the pre-market holding it back. So far, OPGN. And look at the room it's got. I mean, if you look left on that weekly chart, 332 is the next high looking left. Again, I'm not saying it's going to get there. It might still struggle to get through 3 again. I don't know. But at any rate, if you got in anywhere close to 250 and you got anywhere out close to $3, that's a great percentage move. And if you want every day, click on New, Channel Bar, and My Watch List. All right, ZAG. So ZAG had earnings on the 4th. Continuation. Not very much volume on this one, guys, but this is an earnings play. SNR, New Senior Investment Group. Look at the level it's at. It's at 433 right now. You look left on that weekly chart. 443 is the high. If it can somehow take that out, look at the room it's got. And that's the SNR. It is an earnings play. This could be really interesting next week. You know, for all of those who think the trade ideas is just, good for day trading. I mean, this is all we're looking at. You see a move like this on earnings, and at this point, it's taken all of this out, and you easily could have a second day, third day continuation on earnings. There's no guarantee, of course, but that's a pretty enthusiastic move it's made today. Doesn't trade very much. I'm upset at myself for missing this VHC on the second 19 break. All right, True continues down now. Okay, so the SPY has just made a 180 here. So look at that bottoming tail. Look at that red candle, the bottoming tail. What did that mean? The sellers had knocked it down, but on the close, the buyers took over, closed it higher, and now they're back in control. We could go positive here. I mean, we're not down that much on the SPY or the NAS. NEO does pretty well during earnings season. All right, it's the most volatile of the three hollies. With the most relative volume, etc. And it picks off a lot of these earnings plays. Once we get out of earnings season, I'm not saying it'll completely dry up, but it may not be quite as active as we're seeing right now. So yesterday we saw the same thing. So you look at PetQ, earnings play, AAXN earnings play, Luna earnings play. And why? Because earnings plays are typically very active during the day. Lots of volume. Look at that. I mean, this is not traded very much, 245, but for it, that's 5.6 times normal. So that is the reason. Yeah, the trailing stops, if you're using the simulator, do not work. And I think only even in the if you're trading your live account, I think trailing stops only work at not as a percentage, but a dollar amount. Well, within IB, I don't know. I mean, I've never used IBs. If you're talking about IB within IB, I've never used trailing stops within IB. Yeah, okay, link with. So that's what I was saying. If you're talking about the simulator, it doesn't work at all. And I think in the if you're trading a live account, then I believe you can only use a dollar amount, not a percent. Okay, listen, guys. WBT 729. Let's see if we can get 5 for 5 here from my watch list. So I'm going to stick an alert up here at 7:30 for WBT. It is just sneaking in here. I have a minimum relative volume of 1 here, so it's just kind of sneaking in. So I'd be waiting, see if the volume can really start to pick up a bit more. But you can see why it's on the watch list. I mean, look left on that weekly chart. Look how much room there is. Meanwhile, nobody told me it was 10:30. Well, getting into trades, but listen, depends on your account size too. What are you going to do? Are you going to take every single trade? Every single. What if a day you've got 30 trades? But I would manage the exits on your own, JBacks. Do you want to auto trade on the entries? Again, it all depends on your account size, how much you're going to risk per trade, depending how many trades come in the AI any given day. Right now it's fairly manageable. What if we end up with 25 trades today, though? All right. If you are new to if you're new to the trading room, welcome. This is the format, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Sharing my screen and live in the mic. If you do have trade ideas, I am sharing a lot of scans. So right here, there are 2 ways to get them. You can click on the scans tab. You can see all of the scans that I am sharing. Or, and I think most people probably are doing this now, if you click on that room drive icon, scans that I share, if you click on download, that'll go to a Word document. So all the scans will be there. You can take a look at them all more or less at your leisure. If you want to have any one of them, all you have to do is copy the link. Copy the link and then File. From the toolbar, File, Load from Cloud, and that link should appear right in the box. And then click Load, and then you'll have it. Remember, you can make changes to it if you want. These are just templates. This is how how I like to see the alerts. You can always make changes. And don't forget, save the scan to the cloud. Right click if you like it. Right click, save, or share to cloud, and save. If you do want to take out a Trade Ideas subscription, I'm going to put the links in. Okay, and this CELH, take out that whole number, 23s. All right. So there is a subscription link. So let's take a look to see how much it costs. So there's a promo code you can use, Barry4Alpha, 15% off the first month only, or the entire year. Click on the link. So we have 4 plans. A premium yearly is $22.68 a year minus the 15%. The standard is $10.68 a year minus the 15%. The main reason you'd be wanting to get premium is if you do want to have access to the AI. There are some other differences, but that's the main difference, okay? I'm going to go over the AI in a bit. You don't have to start off with a yearly plan or even a premium plan. You can just give us a shot or try. Standard monthly is $118 less 15%. Remember that discount's only good for the first month. Or the premium, $228 less the 15%. If you decide to upgrade, we'll honor that 15% promo code. Take a look at some of the other links. The links are also downloadable. The link's right there. We've gone over the subscription pricing. Trade of the week is sent to you before the market opens every Monday morning. This week's hasn't really done much. It triggered, but I think it's basically still at the trigger price. It was Lennar, L-A-N. I do a daily video between about 1:05 and 1:20 every day. I'm going to copy these 2 links. Very important links, the 20 short lessons and the TI training. If you're new to the program, I absolutely recommend that you take a look at these 2 links. And even if you don't have the program, you can see the features that we do have, the basic features, and I think it's how relatively easy it is to create top lists and alert windows, etc. So let me just pop those links in here. All right, let me click on the 20 short lessons link. And that's what they are. Now they're very short. They're not videos. It's all text-based. But again, just going over what is a top list, how to build one, an alert window, how to create one. Lot of just the basic features of trade ideas. You know, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't take a look at this. You know, I mean, if you're trying to, I mean, you can learn all this, you know, on your own, I guess. But I mean, this just gives you a really quick summary about how to do a lot of the basic things in trade ideas. TI training. The link is there. The 20 and 20 is there. We also have TI University. A lot of great videos are here. And this is a very cool video series. If you're brand new to trading, this assumes you know nothing. Starts you right from scratch, okay? So back to basics. We have webinars, 4 of them a week, Monday to Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern. They are all archived, so you can watch them when you want to. I'm going to go over the AI, and I'm going to go over Brokerage Plus right now. Depends on the window, Amy. I mean, you know, you can I can try to help you. Depends on how complex it is. Yeah, the number. It's basically just for accounting issues, VJ. It's very difficult to, you know, somebody says, well, I want to be able to do this. It's a lot easier. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll go right into your system and they can help that way. But you can certainly, you know, it depends on the type of question you've got. If it's an accounting question, somebody can take a look at your account. You know, even I can kind of help. If it's accounting, I can't help. I cannot help. So it really depends on the type of question. Here's the home page where you can start a live chat. Yeah, so that is not something that I would be good at, Amy. So you might want to then just send an email like this. Some of the other traders do things, may do things like that, perhaps. I just don't. So I don't have any. I don't have an idea right off the top of my head of how to do that. So let me talk a little bit about the AI. Once the market closes, the AI gets to work on what we call our optimization routine. We have 50 baseline strategies that get optimized once the market closes every day. In the optimization routine, basically, this is not one of the AI strategies, but basically looks at the filters that are in place, the values. The AI strategies have way more alerts, or sorry, filters, but maybe starts just tinkering with the values. Maybe makes a change. It says 1 in 20 here, makes a change, runs the back tester, maybe takes a filter out, adds one in. Tedious procedure. Just to do one, obviously to do 50, you need a computer to do that. So that's what the AI did once the market closed yesterday afternoon. Went to work. And then today, here are the strategies that made the cut. Based on, they have the proper win percentage and profit factor combination. That's why you see these ones. Monday, we don't know which ones are going to make the cut. But these are the ones that made the cut today. How do you see them? If you have the AI, you just click on New, and you click on AI/Holly Strategy Trades window. You will see all of the alerts as they come in. You'll have an alert price. It's a real-time alert price. There's the time, and then you'll have a stop. How you manage those trades is up to you. Okay, if it's hardware and audio, well, I guess you'll just kind of have to wait. I'm not sure how. I certainly can't help you. So that basically is what the AI is all about. I mean, somebody asked me before, is there a video on how to use it? Well, there are all sorts of different ways to use it. My only recommendation is that this is a man and machine. The machine is giving you the nice watch list for the day. It's giving you a potential entry. It's giving you your stop. How you manage it is going to be up to you. No, it's a real-time entry. Now, if it's a fast-moving stock, it's possible, yes, that the stock is not right at that price. It's just like saying here, though, I get a real-time entry right there, an alert BRBR, and it was at 1962. But that stock could have been moving really quickly. So maybe, when I see it, or even if I tried to take the trade, it may have, moved 5 cents. Depends how fast the stock is moving. It is a real-time entry based on the filters that are in place and then the trigger. Yeah, Vin, I can't recommend, anything. I mean, I know what I'd be doing, but, I just cannot do that. I'm not a financial advisor, and I could get in trouble by saying, yes, you should get out right now. And then, on Monday morning, it pops another $10. Okay. Yeah, I told the story. It's a long time ago. This is before I was doing anything like this, and I was another real chat room type thing, and somebody asked me my opinion of holding this stock over the weekend, and I think the stock was at 3, and I think it was a bio, and I wasn't. I looked at it and I thought, wow, it's pretty risky. I probably wouldn't do it. Monday morning, it opens at 17. So. So last time I gave any advice. But I also wasn't a moderator or anything like this. I was just like one of you guys making a suggestion. All right, so let me talk about Brokerage Plus, all right? Absolutely, absolutely, JBax. You can only turn, you can, if you only want to do long strategies or short strategies, yeah. Problem is, no, I mean, you know, the market can change intraday, but yeah, I mean, if you feel the market's going to be is a bullish day, you can only look at long strategies. Yes, you'll probably see though, most of the time, if the market is truly bullish, the short strategies will not trigger. I'm not saying they won't, like 100% won't trigger, especially if it's a neo strategy, it's an earnings play, because you know, even if the market is bullish on a day, if a stock has a bad reaction to earnings, it really won't matter what the market's doing. But yeah, you can do that. You just go right here and turn on your, you know, let's just for argument's sake, yeah, you just turn them on. Just turn these on if that's all you wanted to do on a day that was bullish. If that's what you felt like you wanted to do. All right, let me talk about Brokerage Plus. Real, you've got to do it. You've got to take it. Real. Look. I'm talking to real. This is the Brokerage Plus window. Yeah, I'm gonna exit it all. Just want to start from scratch. Okay, so this is the Brokerage Plus window. Now there's CSIQ right back up. So this could, is what I was saying, as a watch list, this could start to run now. You know, this is from the AI earlier. Made a little bit of money on it here. Got stopped out in the AI. Almost hit even the stop. I got out for another reason. But now look at it. That's why I'm saying you can track the symbols in the AI all day long. So to open the Brokerage Plus window, click on New and then Brokerage Plus. And then this window will pop up. This is your Brokerage Plus window. If you have an interactive broker's account, and that's the only account this works with in terms of trading your live, like your money. So if you have an interactive broker's account and you want to use this window, this module to trade, then you connect to Interactive Brokers and watch that video, okay? The Brokerage Plus intro, it goes over virtually everything you need to know if you want to trade your live account. It doesn't work with any other broker right now. We're looking at ones, but you know, I cannot tell you when that's going to happen. Otherwise, for a lot of you, if you're brand new to trading, before you commit money to the market, you know, the absolute recommendation is that you practice trading, simulation trading, okay? And this is great way to do that. It uses our real-time data. Doesn't matter what brokerage account you've got, it uses our real-time data. So let's just, how's WBT doing? Let's take this one. I just want to take I mean, I just want to demonstrate something. I'm trying to maybe find something that might be a little bit better, but see, I'm looking for something that doesn't have any resistance nearby. Well, you know what? I'm just to show you how easy it is to do it. So I click on Real. All right. Symbol shows up here. If I want to short it, I sell. If I want to buy it, go long, I buy it. I can pick how many shares I want. I can pick the price I want to get in at. So let's just buy, and again, I'm just going to demonstrate a couple hundred shares. I'm I'm looking at it right now. The market's okay. It's only a 3-cent spread, so I'm going to buy it. I just bought it. Okay, so there it is. There's my entry. Now I can put a stop. Now you should always know what your stop is and ahead of time, of course, but just for demo purposes, I'm going to put the stop at 1535, just to the low of these two candles here. 1535. So I can add the stop. 1535. And that'll show up right on the chart. Okay, so now you can use this like a trailing stop. If the trade starts working, you can start moving it up and up and up to support areas on the chart. If the stock gets down to 1535 and I just let it run automatically, it's going to take me out for a $41 loss. Again, this is in the simulator. I can put a target if I want. All I'm doing is right-clicking on the symbol. Let me do it again. I'm just right-clicking and then add target order. Let's put 16. And that will show up on the chart. See, it's right there. So if I just let this thing, if I just let it run and it hit 1535, it would take me out for a $41 loss. If it ran up to 16, it would take, and I didn't do anything, it would take me out for an $89 gain. These, I can move these anywhere I want. When you know, obviously, I mean, if it got close to 16 and I like the way it was trading, I would keep moving it up. If it stalled just underneath 16 and started moving down, I could move the line down to take me out of the trade. Meanwhile, OPGN over 3 again, guys. Now, of course, you don't have to use the chart to get out of the trades. These are hotkeys. So if I wanted to get out of the trade right now, I could flatten it. If I wanted to get out of half the trade, I would click on half. If I wanted to double the trade, I could double it. Or I could go very manually. I could say, okay, I only want to trade 100 shares and pick a price. So, I mean, it's very easily controlled. You mean a profit target? So you just right click and add a target order. So once you're in the trade, you just right click. I could modify the target order. You know, we've got all these percentages also that you can fool around with. Okay. So once you're in the trade, you just right click and add target order. And again, once you're in the trade, you can always modify. You can move this up and down. You can also use this for swing trading. So if you don't get out of the trade at the end of the day, absolutely, you can trade it manually right now. As I was saying, if I wanted to get out of the trade, I could flatten it. If I wanted to get out of a certain number of shares, I would pick how many shares I wanted to get out at. I'd pick the price I wanted to get out at. So very manually. You know, overriding, you know, the actual stop loss and profit target. Yeah, it's completely. Look at JMI, guys. JMIA. Look at what it is doing now. Look at this move here. I mean, this is looking interesting. If it's already above 2 days ago the high, so it may start to be recovering after you had a tremendous run. Okay, let's see this WBT. Did volume pick up? See, the volume is still not great. It's now 0.93. It has actually dropped down below 1. So the volume is not great. But I mean, if it takes out this high right there, I mean, look at the room it's got. I'm just hoping that the volume picks up. You know, we get a big volume push and it pushes right through. And then, I mean, you've got room. I mean, look at this weekly chart. $9. Again, I'm not saying it's going to get there, but so I'm just waiting, just waiting. Yes, all you'd have to do if you're interested in doing something like that, best person to help you is Kelly, and she'll look at your account. Just have to give her the email that you used to sign up, and she'll figure out how it's done. Okay. You're with your credential. Well, you're probably trying to log in maybe with your AI login. I believe it's different. You just have to create an email, like put an email and a username, Brian. I don't think it's that difficult. I don't think it's that difficult. You just your name and an email, and that's it. Here's your username, your email, and submit. I don't think it's that difficult. Yeah, only because I don't have post market. Well, there'll be a couple of reasons, but yeah, I don't have the post market highs in here. I don't care. Okay. I mean, there's a post market alert, but it stops because I don't have post market, like the post market highs. I don't bother. Yeah, username and password are case sensitive. Oh man, what's the volume like? It's just too bad. If this had a lot of volume, this could be awesome. This WBT. Look at the room it's got, guys. Look at that weekly chart. It may not matter, but I would like to see some volume. It may not matter. Okay, so Brian, as somebody was saying, the password and your username, it is case sensitive. Maybe that's the issue. So it's asking. Otherwise, I'll have to send you to the home page, and you can maybe ask them to give you a hand. I don't know why. Okay, then I can't help you, Brian. I don't know. You'll have to go to the home page. I just don't know what would be happening. Why there's an issue. If you're 100% convinced that you've been putting that because it's case sensitive, you've been doing it correctly, then I'm at a loss. Yeah, the only issue with the breaking VWAP, we do have breaking VWAP, but there is a confirmation of volume. So sometimes, there's crossed above and crossed below, okay? But a lot of times there is a confirmation that has to take place. If you look at the help, you'll see what I'm talking about. So sometimes, you'll see a VWAP cross on the chart and you won't get the alert immediately because what the system is trying to prevent from happening, just, popping up and down. So it looks for a little bit of confirmation. Username and password, case sensitive, yes. There's a red bar ignored for OPGN. Talk about a late bloomer. I mean, look at their action in the pre-market. And then even here, then all of a sudden, I mean, this is a great percentage move. 258. Well, a cross on the open is a cross on the open, whether it's 1 minute, 2 minute, a million minutes. I mean, it's the open is the open. But the open is the open. I don't know how to. I mean, the open is a number. If the stock crosses it, if you're looking at a 5-minute chart or a 1-minute chart or a weekly chart, do you see what I'm saying? Well, all I can say is that if you're looking for, I'm obviously if you're looking at a 5-minute chart, it'll be, if you're waiting for confirmation for the candle to close, is that what you mean? Then no, but I mean, cross above the open, cross above the close. I mean, that is just a number. I mean, whether you're seeing that on a 5-minute chart or a 10-minute chart or a 1-minute chart, I mean, the open is the open. Unless I'm misunderstanding what you're trying to accomplish. All right, News Cord, NWSA, not an earnings play. Interesting little break here. It's a big, big float. A lot of volume today, almost 4 times normal the volume. Has a little bit of room. You look left on that weekly chart. Well, what's that week? Okay, so the high of this chart, that candle right there was 1414. So probably have to break that. And that high is about 1478. So I guess if it could break 1414, it has a shot to get up to that level. Oh man. This is my big percentage miss, really. I mean, I was wanting this one. I was mentioning this. Let's see if it gets back up here. Somehow I got distracted because this is just a tremendous percentage move. 258, 328. No, I'm going to have to delete it. Boy, JMIA, what a mission this is on also. OPGN, JMIA, this just took out the high of 2 days ago. This could start to fill in this void again. All right, let's take a look at GELD. What are you doing? 2337. So I had a little pullback. This has room to, this got room. I mean, the next high looking left, I believe, unless this is, okay, so this is actually 24. So this has some room. Okay, give me a moment, please. Here's another one that was on the move. Pack B. Boy, so many. Boy, that ANPC just keeps cruising down. No, I'm sure on a short, yeah, nice reel. Another one, not shortable, KZIA for me. Anyway, look at this low right now, the day just fading badly. It's still up 45%, but it's just fading, fading, fading. Okay, well the volume is just getting up there. I just wish there was some volume coming. A little bit of volume came into WBT. I would definitely be watching this one, guys. I mean, I know the volume isn't fantastic, but all of a sudden maybe we start getting some volume bars like this. It'll push that relative volume up. Okay, look at the market again, guys. So we're putting in we had a nice little run, a little bit of a run. Remember from that right down there, we had that bottoming tail. Then the market started, but we're getting some red bars again. So I mean, nothing catastrophic or anything. But I think if it took out that low here, right down here, we may start to see a more of a downtrend. All right, well, probably a sympathy play with Uber, guys. Lyft. Uber had earnings. Lyft has earnings on the 12th. Day is that? So after hours on Wednesday. So, I'll comment on this one. I mean, I did see that Luna was alerted from the AI at 660. Okay, so that look interesting. The low float, its earnings, etc. But look at the 200-day moving average. So that, this is the type of stock that I normally would take from the AI. It's in the price range that I like. But that 200-day moving average is just too close. Now, if it pops through that, then it does definitely have some room. It's hard to say. I mean, my problem is I can't pay enough attention to really any one thing, Ali. I think I'll leave it though for a week and just sort of see. Maybe too many, it might be too many. Best thing you guys can do is you can experiment all you want. I put 60 there. There was nothing magical about putting 60, okay? I just thought I'd use 60 just to see, but you guys can experiment all you want. You have it. You just have to change that number or change anything else too. Just a template for you guys to use. Okay, lift is having a little bit of pop. I'm interested to see what it does at this whole number, at 30. See if that holds and then moves back down again. How's Uber actually doing? Well, actually Uber is recovering a bit, so am I looking at the wrong chart? Well, it's a 200 SMA. Okay, I don't use EMA. So I think the vast majority of people are using a 200 SMA, not an EMA. If you want to use an EMA, go ahead, but I think you're definitely in the minority. Yeah, it's pointless to do a back test on it because the symbols will change every day. It's pointless to do a back test, and it just uses the blast symbol list. Yes, it's pointless to do it because these symbols change every day. Yeah, it's too bad. I wish that if that volume had been good, this might have been one of the better ones from the watch list, but you can just see the volume is just not strong enough. Yeah, I'm not a big moving average guy. I do have the 10 SMA on the 10 on the daily chart, just because I know Steve Gomez, who you might be familiar with, one of the traders at Trade Ideas. He swears by it as a stop, but that's it. I don't use a lot of other indicators. Again, that's just me. You know, the NWSA is just creeping up. Real, for instance, on all his time frames, will use the 8 EMA and the 20 SMA for crosses and things like that. But I'm not the right person to ask, for a lot of these technical indicators because I just don't use a lot of them. I don't think so. No, it resumed, I believe, at 10:28, an hour ago. Unless it's not trading. It's a little interesting though. Yeah, I don't see any trades going through. Looks like it is halted, or not trading, but I don't see it's not listed as a halt. All right, guys. Yeah, I just noticed. I noticed I was muted also, so I should be back, and you should see my screen. What symbol did you see? COHN? Still? Okay, no, interesting. No, how about now? Okay, but if it's blurry, it'll improve. Still nothing? Really? I wonder if the gentleman who creates the room, this is not something that we do. I wonder if he's having server issues. Okay, first of all, can you guys hear me? Okay, you can hear me. Okay, there's an issue with the screen sharing. I can see that. See, this little guy is just moving around and around. So let me try again. There might be an issue with this. Not at trade. Remember, this is a third-party trading room we're using. Yeah, I understand. I understand. No screen. I get it. Let me just put the announcement. All right, I'm going to try something here. Meanwhile, OPGN just continues. Okay, just 1 second. All right, I'm going to try again. I might have to shut the room down for me and reload. So if that doesn't work, I'm going to actually contact the developer of the room. Though I understand that people can see me from the YouTube feed. They can see my screen in the YouTube feed. So okay, I'm just going to give a quick email to the developer of the room and see if there is an issue. All right, guys. Well, I guess there is a semi-fix if you want to, but it might be a little bit delayed depending on. Okay. It says it started screen sharing again. Is it? Has it? It is working now? Okay. Well, okay, if it's frozen, if you think it's frozen, then maybe do a refresh. Okay, the blurriness should improve. Okay, it's I'm using a format that what happens is sort of like, you know, when you go to YouTube and when you start watching a YouTube video, it looks very blurry, then it improves. You know, give it a few seconds. Well, maybe it's telling me I should be shutting down for the day. Black now or back now? Let me see if the... No, I know the YouTube feed is fine. Just waiting to see if I get it. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to shut down and come back down. Or come... You can see the screen? Okay, well then I don't know what's happening. Haven't had an issue like this for quite a while. All right, guys. Oh, look at... Well, you can't... If you can't see... CAGG, ZAGG, nice little pop at a consolidation here. All right, I didn't do anything. Okay. Keep an eye on lift, guys. LYFT. Keep an eye on lift. It looks like that whole number 30 was rejected. We could see a little bit of a move down for lift. Let's see what it does right there. It has room. 28.93. It has about $1 down to the low. Meanwhile, Acer, what are you doing? Acer, another cheap bio. Oh, look at the room it's got. Wow, what's the high right there? Is 506. It takes that out. I mean, this has got a ton of room. 506. The next high looking left is way up here at 7 something. Okay, well, quickly, I mean, average volume, I mean, you know, I mean, some people only want to trade a stock that has an average trading volume of 500,000 a day or a million a day. That's up to you. Okay, I don't use average volume ever because I'm more of an intraday trader. I'm not going to I'm not going to put like a filter that says, okay, I only want to see stocks that trade normally 500,000 shares a day, because all of a sudden one day one of these small ones is just exploding that doesn't normally trade very much, and I'll miss that one. Okay, so there's average volume. As far as EMA and SMA are concerned, I can only really comment on the 200 day moving simple moving average. It's sort of one of the probably the most universally used indicators. People will most traders will always be aware where that SMA is. If you're trying to get into a stock and it's approaching it, you know, a lot of times it'll stall right there, that area. You know, it's a number, but it's sort of an area, as Real will say. It might stall right there, and it might be tough to get through. Look at Luna as an example this morning. There's the 200 day. You see it got to it and it kind of rejected off it. Doesn't mean it's going to stall it forever. But it's just an indicator that virtually everybody looks. The VWAP is another, probably would say maybe the second one. It's just, where you have to look it up, the volume weighted average price. So where most of the action has been. So again, if it breaks through that area, it's can be bullish. If it stalls there and moves back down, it could be bearish. What do you think it has? I'm going to start asking you guys the question. I'm going to turn these questions around, okay, to get you guys used to being able to kind of see what I see. And what I see isn't absolutely the be all and the end all, of course. But I mean, what do you see, OPGN? What do you see? I mean, I keep saying, have a daily, weekly, and a monthly chart up and running, because all these stocks that I'm looking at have already they're already at highs of the day, so you don't have to worry about intraday resistance. So I mean, here it is at 357. If I look left, the next high looking left on the weekly chart is way up here at 575. Doesn't mean it's going to get there. But if I might have to back the daily out a little bit more. I'm going back to where here? Yeah, but $5. I mean, that's the next high looking left on the daily chart. Now, is that resistance? I mean, it's a guide anyway. Look at the volume, 71 million shares, 71 million shares. It's traded the float almost 5 times. No, I will almost 100% say, Rick, we will not have a Mac version. We keep trying to improve on the web-based version. The next edition will be the Brokerage Plus. So I can almost 100% say we'll never have a Mac version. Traded the float. Well, look how many shares is traded. 72 million. The float is 15. So let's pretend that was 75. If I divide 15 into 15 million into 75 million, I get 5. So it has traded the float 5 times almost. I mean, you do have the options, Rick. I mean, obviously you can, a lot of people at Trade Ideas who have Macs, they use the emulator, an emulation program like Parallels. I think that's the most popular one. We do have the web-based version, not as robust as the app. And then you can also try one of the cloud services like AWS. That's another option. Little podcast was done on the ways in which you can use Trade Ideas if you do have a Mac. Like a lot of these questions can be answered if you just Google, okay? You Googled float and short float, you'd get the answers. But just, the float is the number of shares available to be traded. when you look at a company, they'll always have shares outstanding. That's the total number of shares outstanding. Now, not so much for these little ones, but let's take a Facebook or one of the bigger ones. So you'll see a shares outstanding, and then you'll see a different number for the float. The float is basically taking the shares outstanding and subtracting all of the shares that are owned by insiders, like the CEO, all the directors, maybe mutual funds who cannot trade like directors and insiders and mutual funds do not trade on a daily basis. They cannot trade on a daily basis. So basically you take those shares out of the number of shares that can actually be traded on a daily basis, and that creates the float. That's what we call the float. The short float is just, okay, of the float, what percent is short? In other words, how many people are betting? What is the percentage of people betting that this stock keeps going down or goes down? That's the short float percent. Oh, how to use it to your benefit. Oh, I see. Well, again, it's, the only reason OPGN is up as much as it is because of this float. If it had 1 billion shares in the float, it wouldn't be up like this. Okay? It's that simple. For whatever reason, it's a virus play. We're offering the rapid test kit. Okay, so it's a virus play. So when the supply is low, and 15 million is low, anything under 20, in my opinion, is a low float. The lower that number, the better if a stock is in play. In play meaning it's either an earnings play, it released earnings, or you put out a press release. And right now, any one of these little bios that put out any sort of a press release that has virus in the name, COVID in the name, will get attention, whether it's merited or not. Well, you know what? I'm going to be going on my break. I haven't done my analogy. I think it's time for my home analogy, supply versus demand. Oh, you mean you want to go to the other trading room? Rick, I'm not sure I understand your question. Can you show it on your site? I'm not sure I understand your question. So to use an analogy, I do this every now and then, especially for people who are new, don't quite understand the concept of the float, supply and demand when it comes to stock trading. So let's say you live in a cul-de-sac and there are 100 people, 100 homes in your cul-de-sac, and you want to sell your home, and you're the only one out of the 100. You list it for $500,000. For whatever reason, 10, 20, 30 people want your home. So what's going to happen? That 500,000 price, all of a sudden your house gets into a bidding war. Some guy offers you 550, the next guy 600, the next guy 700, on and on and on. Okay? So the supply is extremely low. There's only one house. The demand, for whatever reason, maybe there's word that it's going to be rezoned, and you're the only person that knew that, but it doesn't really matter. There is a huge amount of interest for your home. So of course the price is going to go up. You're not going to sell it for 500 when you keep getting bids higher and higher and higher. Okay? So the supply is one, the demand is huge. Now let's reverse it. You're in that same cul-de-sac. You put your home up for 500,000. Your neighbor puts it up for 500. Another 10 guys put them up for 500. You only got 2 people interested. You really want to sell your home. So now he's saying, well, okay, I'll drop it to 480. Your neighbor drops it to 470. The guy across the street drops it to 450. It's just now the reverse. You've got high supply and low demand. That's the stock market in a nutshell. Well, that's every market. Yeah, I was kind of kidding, but that's the stock market in a nutshell. But yeah, that's anything. Any commodity that you can think of. The basic key factors to buy and sell trades on a daily basis: volume. Price and volume. I mean, really. I mean, looking at a chart, does it have room? I mean, is it a good looking pattern? And volume. No point getting into something that doesn't have volume. And I don't mean just the absolute volume, I'm talking about the relative volume too. You want a stock that is of interest. It's for some reason, it's in play. People want it. So Rick, are you talking about you're talking about a brokerage platform? Like what broker to use? Yeah, I do it every now and then. Or track. Anybody who's been in the room for a few years, they've probably heard it. Well, I know they've heard it a few times, but makes sense. It always has made sense to me. So, Rick, yeah, I don't know what question you're actually asking. You're asking about what brokerage platform? I'm still really interested in keeping an eye on this WBT, guys, especially, this could turn out to be one of those later day trades if the volume picks up. But like the volume is still light in terms of the relative volume. It's only 0.88. That means it's not trading a little bit under normal. And it's got too big a float, 140 million in the float to make this really move unless the volume picks up. So that's the issue. Well, when you say set up the scanners, Clarence, I mean, if you're talking very generally, I would recommend that, especially the first one, the 20 short lessons. It's a great, the 20 short lessons is a really good starting point. How to set up a top list, how to set up an alert window, the very basic features of using trade ideas. Man, You have no idea how close I was to getting this. I mean, it was just a matter of watching it as it took out this 258 again. It had that little dip, and then look at this. You can do volume alerts. You can put a filter. We have volume alerts. You know, high relative volume, 1 minute volume spike, strong volume. All right, guys, I'll be taking my break fairly soon. So Andy will be taking over in the YouTube feed at in about 3 minutes. Lift on the way down. Lift is breaking down now. Now, Torps, how many times do I have to tell you not to hold a stock through earnings? Pulling Torps says he's saying he accidentally swung semi, not realizing it had earnings. I guess not, no. I'm glad it worked out. Because I know, yeah, I do see that it came back. But I would not have been happy. I mean, it's come back a little bit. Oh, I see. Okay. I've done it. I not so much on earnings, but you know, I've taken a trade intraday with having forgotten to look at the 200-day, things like that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where this is going to end up. I mean, I have a piece of it left just in case it does some absolutely crazy thing. But I mean, I'm very, very, very happy with the less than 24-hour swing. Those are my swing trades. Okay, guys, I am going to be exiting pretty soon here. I think Andy is going to start in the YouTube feed in about a minute. So I am going to just put my announcement up here that I will be back at about 12:30. Okay, guys, there's the SPY. There was a SPY making that new low right there. I had my price alert set right there. So watch out on your longs. All right, Andy, I wonder if you're in the room now. Oh man, OPGN. Look at this, 4 now. Okay, so Andy's in the room. Okay, guys, I'm going to stop my YouTube feed streaming. See you guys in YouTube back at 1. Andy will take over from now till 1.
Hello traders, testing 1 2 3. This is Andy. Can you hear me? And can you see my screen? Hi Aja, how are you, buddy? Great. Looks like I am live. This is the Friday edition of the support session. Hi Marcus, how are you? All right, everybody. This is a Friday support webinar. This is where we take over Barry, well, at least not his room, but at least his live stream for 1 hour to answer any questions that you might have about the software, about we can talk about trading too. If there's no software questions, we can talk about trading. We can do anything we want to do. So that's our prerogative. So if you guys just fire away any questions that you might have. All right, Marcus says the screen is clear and loud and clear. Let me know if it's too loud. I can pull back a little bit. All right, let's talk a little bit while we're waiting on some questions to come in about the markets. Getting a little weakness here in the afternoon. Had a huge run up. Wouldn't be surprised to see some profit taking going into the afternoon hours. We'll see what happens, but what a resilient market this has been. Yes, Ali, it is based upon 10 days. The relative volume, it looks at the average relative volume over the last 10 days. So we feel like that's probably a good enough sample size to have a decent average, daily volume, or I shouldn't say daily volume, relative volume. Can you go over the Momo scanner? I sure can. It's for Brian is talking about. If you go to one of our new channels is called the Momentum, and there's a great little alert in there called the Momo alert. I have it in my cloud, I'm sure, since I built that Momo channel, and we will just pull it up and take a look at it. Stretch out some of these columns so you guys can get a good view here. And I think the one in that channel is probably a little bit different than I built for this one. So I'll tell you what, let's do. I'll just go ahead and go into that channel. Probably be the easiest way, because this is what you're going to see. I want everybody to see the same thing. All right, so here is the Momo channel. Let's take a look at the best way to get a description is look at the configuration. All right, you can see this is a new high. It's simply looking for a new high. And if we look at the filters, okay, it's looking for stocks from $1 to $50. The change from close has to be up at least 2%. Okay, so we're definitely looking for momentum here. The volume in the 1 minute, the volume today has to do 100,000 shares. This is the difference you're going to find in this Momo window versus this Extreme Master Blaster. These are going to have some average daily volume filters in there to assure the stock does about 200,000 or 300,000 shares a day. I can't remember what value I use. But we do not have an average daily volume filter in this Momo. It just has to do 100,000 shares a day. but I can promise you this: if it's done 100,000 shares, and these volumes are hitting 100, oh, I'm sorry, volume in the 1 minute is 10 times normal. Volume in the 5 minute is 4 times normal. More than likely, you're going to see the stocks coming through here doing well in excess of, probably 300,000, 500,000. But it's pretty simple. And another difference that you're going to find in this is in this Extreme Master Blaster, these are looking for at least a 10-day high. Okay, when I'm typically looking for momentum, I look for stocks that are breaking out of some sort of range and not in no man's land. It's not the case with that Momo, so you have to be careful with it. But it's pretty much going to catch all the stuff. So let's take a look at some of the stuff that's come through here today and get a good look at it. Just click on today, and it is loading, and there's more available. Anytime you go and look at a history and you see more available, that means the server was not able to give us all the alerts that came through today. Now it stops at about 8:56. I'm on Central Time, so the market opens here at 8:30. So it's only missing about 25 minutes. So, but if you ever do want to see what's left, just go to history and click on more. It'll start where it left off and show you the rest. Hopefully it may stay more available again. So yeah, you can see this one's pretty active. A lot of stuff coming through here today. And what I like about this one, the one I created, I have some color coordinated columns in here, in the 1 minute and 5 minutes. So if you look in there, you will see, bam, look at this one right here. Look at the volume. That's, geez, what is that? I'm trying to figure it out. It's like 17,000 times normal 1 minute volume. So this one definitely had some, at the open this morning, has some volume coming in. Now, just because you see volume doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go up. Okay, it was hitting a new high, huge volume, but obviously big gap here, and the sellers are taking advantage for whatever reason, and it is going down. There was one right there doing some decent move this morning. Friday's a lot of time is not the best for trading momentum. Trust me, I did it for 17 years, and Friday was probably my least favorite day. But anyway, it's a great little window here where you can catch a lot of good stuff coming through, for sure. Okay, my volume's a little bit low. Let me move it a little bit closer because I got it all the way turned up. How can I adjust the volume on the alerts? Well, Clarence, you're going to have to do that on your computer. Yeah, we do not have any volume control built into our software. So if you're using audio alerts, you're just going to have to go down to your computer and just make sure the volume is turned up loud enough. Shouldn't be an issue. I've never heard anybody complaining about our alerts volume being too low, so it's just something you're gonna have to do on your computer. All right, let me go back to my default layout here. But anyway, if you're a momentum trader and you haven't been in this momentum, these two alerts right here are you're not gonna miss very much of anything that's out there. Have a lot of people coming through asking, they see these different momentum scanners on the internet, and oh man, how can I get? Trust me, okay, it's pretty easy to build a momentum scanner. I think the key is like I did in this Extreme Master Blaster, where I look for stocks that are at least breaking out of a 10-day high, and because you can catch you can catch a lot of stuff in here. Let me see if I can find some examples of stocks that are in kind of no man's land. Well, that's a pretty good one right there. We did have a blip this morning, but it fell right back into that range. That one is on like a 5-day high, but it could not take out that level. So I'm looking Barry does the same thing in his room. This is a great example. Okay, this is one you would never see on mine, because look at this slop right here. You know, it's not breaking out of any sort of, not even a 3-day high, a 2-day high. So you won't catch something like this on the Master Blaster. Let's see, I got a lot of questions coming in here. I'm trying to catch up. Are there more alerts early in the morning than later in the day? Yeah, Parker, in most cases, there was a time back in the good old days where closes meant, it seemed like more. A lot of action would happen in the final hour. But nowadays, it seems like the first 4 hours of the day are usually when you're going to catch, most of your stuff, and it just seems, I don't know, the high frequency traders get them and just kind of whack them back and forth for the remainder of the day. So I would definitely say, yeah, you're going to get more alerts in the morning, than you are later in the day. If you, built them, you'll see them just start slowing down as the day goes on. Load my default again. When I ask to show an alert window, I never get any. Debbie, I'm not sure what you're meaning. Are you talking about when you come up here to new and go to alert window, you don't get anything to pop up like this? Yes, Parker. Ross Warrior. Yeah, he's one of our best affiliates, actually. He definitely uses trade ideas. Okay, hi Fong. He's new to the software. Well, great. How do you make a candlestick bigger on the charts? Okay, great. Good question, Fong. What you got to do is take a look at this daily chart right here. Just click on it, hold down your control key, and use your mouse wheel. You can zoom in and out. Once again, hold down the control key and use your mouse wheel. If you don't have a mouse, you can use your left and right arrows on your keyboard as well. Is there a way, Parker says, is there a way to only see the first of the alerts that come in? Yeah, Parker. So if you have an alert window, let's just pull up one right here. And let's say I only want to see one alert and no more after that. I would right click. I would go to Properties and Don't Repeat. Okay, you can click on Don't Repeat, and in this one right here I have Don't Repeat for 1 minute, but you could put on here Don't Repeat Ever. Or if you you might not want to do that, because if tomorrow that same alert comes out, you won't see it, so you might want to just put for a day on it. So once again, right click, Properties, Don't Repeat, and then fill in, use the drop down box. Make sure you check put an arrow in the box there. Okay, Debbie says, no, on alert window, when I want to get alerted when there is a new alert, I get the sound alerts, but not the pop-up window. Yeah, let me see. That can be distracting for a lot of people. Let me see if they're still in there. I don't use audio alerts, but let me see if you go to Properties, Actions, Play Sound, okay, and obviously you got to set up sound however you want it, and then turn on Show Alert Window, and if you do that, it's not popping up. Let me test it here and see if we get anything to come through. I'll set this and see if the next alert we get anything to come through on there. You're welcome, Fong. Yeah, you know what? How to search a ticker by company name if you don't know the ticker. We're not going to have that built into our software. But what you can do, my favorite place is probably just go to Yahoo Finance. and let's say just go to Yahoo Finance, and then just say you want to find the ticker for Exxon. Just type in the one you're looking for, and it'll pop up. That's the best site. That probably just the easiest as anything to do it there. OPGN, Mike C says. I remember seeing that. No, no. Well, I haven't. That's a nice little run it had. That's for sure. Boy, huge volume. I'm sure it was coming through the Momo scanner that we have, and was probably coming through Master. Yeah, it's been coming through Master Blasters as well. Now, on Master Blaster, you probably wouldn't have got it until about that level right there. But still, yeah, a nice little, yeah, you would have got it in plenty of time in Master Blaster. I can see it coming through there. No, Mike, I'm not. I'm only in 2 positions right now in real life, real money, and that is FireEye, and I bought some the other day on this reversal right here at around 15.18, I believe, and then I added to it today around 15.56, and Mosaic, which just had a nice little pop. Now I bought Mosaic on this day right here, and after earnings around 15.50, and then I just added to it today also around this level in my swing 2. So 2 swing trades right now, Mosaic and FireEye. Personally, I don't. When a market gets up to these levels, like we've seen in the Qs and SPYs, I thin out just because we're up here in the stratosphere. Never know when you could have one of those ugly down days. So not very. I'm probably only about 30% invested right now. Yeah, those are some. Yeah, I didn't even know that Mosaic just did that, but that's a nice little move right there on some volume. Yeah, FireEye it's looking good. It's setting up here. I really don't want it to fall right back into this range, but that's okay if it does. You got this moving average coming up. I love when you have stocks like this. As a matter of fact, I may be tipping you guys off, but I don't know if he's going to use it, Steve. But I told Steve today you might want to keep this, and we always kind of collaborate on the trade of the week. And I said we need to keep FireEye on the short list. Can any T-type window be set to an A window? It seems not all parameters can be used for alerts. Yes, they can. You can. Anything you have, you can convert to an A window. The problem is when you have a T window, you're basically just kind of setting up a scan, like a lot of the things you have here, like this pullback above 50 SMA. The trick is when you do convert it to alert, you gotta decide what alert you're gonna use. That heartbeat feature in there, it'll convert to a heartbeat. That's kind of our legacy alert that we used for top list. We didn't have top list back in the day, so we just used a heartbeat. So it would kind of show us things that when anything was meeting those parameters. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to convert that heartbeat into another alert. In a lot of cases, a new high would work, but if let's say you're looking to buy pullbacks, maybe you don't want a new high, maybe you want a new low. So you have to decide what alerts you're gonna use. But all parameters can be used in an alert window, so that shouldn't be an issue at all. All right. What time in the morning does the scanner start working or alerting? We do have some, pre-market. We have pre-market available data in pre-market. Now they crank up about, I think, 2 hours and 45 minutes before the market opens. So if you're on the East Coast, you would be getting data about 6:45. that right? Let's see, 9:30. Am I computing that right? Yeah, I think around that time, 6:45, in between 6:45 and 7. And of course, when live action comes, you get them. You start getting them immediately. So, but yeah, it starts about 2.5 hours just to be safe before the market opens up. Parker says, "What is RBG? Are you talking about RBI, GBI, Parker?" You're welcome, Clarence. Yes. Is that what you're talking about? Okay, RBI, GBI. Yeah, what that is, it's you have to have premium to use it. I'll fire one up here. If I can find it, I hadn't pulled one up in a while. There it is. Okay, I'll pull up a RBI 5. Okay, now you have a choice between RBI 5, RBI 15. These are just 5-minute, 15-minute bars, 30-minute bars, and you also have a choice down here for confirmed. I recommend using these regular ones. Confirmed means the candle has to close, okay, and it has to close above the prior candle's high for it to be confirmed. Whereas under this scenario, you're going to get an alert as soon as it takes out that prior bar's high, regardless if the candle has closed or not. So let's just fire up a RBI 5. This is going to be red bar ignored. And it's basically, we'll have to wait. These things, you can't like pull it up and go into history. You just got to, start the servers, and it'll start populating here hopefully in a minute. You can do a limited amount of customization on here. Okay, it's you can set your minimum price, maximum price. Minimum volume today, that's always a good one to set. I'm going to go ahead and set one in here for at least 300,000. And I won't do price. We'll just leave that like it is. You know what? I'm going to do minimum 5-day volume, 300,000. And we'll just do that, and we'll set it, let it, see if we get a symbol coming through. But what it is, it's pattern recognition algo, and it looks for 4 consecutive bars in a row. So in this case, it would be a 5-minute bar. So let me go ahead and put this chart here on a 5-minute candle, so we won't get confused when one comes out. And so it looks for 4 bars in a row. So let's say this is maybe a good example. You got a 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. Now if we have a red bar right here, like we're possibly making, and then the next bar takes out the high of this red bar, you would get an alert in this Amron. It'll be much easier to explain once we get a symbol come through. All right, let's see if I have another question in here. You know what? I did not. Let me make sure that it's checked, so I should be getting. I think I got a beep. I remember hearing something, but I think I was talking at the time, didn't know where it came from. But you're right, I did not get an alert to come through. So Debbie, you might want to send an email, and I'll pass it over to the developers and see if there's something wrong with these, that you're not getting an alert box pop up. Let me make sure I set it up correctly. Yep, show alert window. Everything's set up correctly. So wait, now see if I didn't. I don't know. I shouldn't have to restart after I made a. No, I shouldn't have to restart. That should work. I'll also put one on this Master Blaster here. Let's see. Show alert window. All right, so I got two working now. Yeah, I put one on this Master Blaster here just and should get more symbols coming through it. Yes, Bang Thumper. Yes, you're correct. Right now, Interactive Brokerage is the only platform where you can uh, hook up our Brokerage Plus to and trade the Holly. Uh, you have to have an account with Interactive Brokers, and then you can.
UFS.
Okay, I just heard a UFS somewhere, so the audio is working, but I'm not getting a pop-up. So it may be a feature that I don't know, they may have stopped using it. I have no idea, but for whatever reason, I'm not getting any pop-ups on that either. So Debbie, send an email in, and I've seen you send emails in before. As a matter of fact, you sent a really nice email in the other day talking about our composite rating and how much you love it. That was nice. Yeah, it's not going to be the same alerts as your price alerts. I wouldn't think. I think it'd be similar, but honestly, I don't know why I have never tried to use them. You think after being one of the very first users of this product, I would have tried that at some point, but I haven't. So I'm not sure exactly. I would assume it wouldn't be as big as your price alerts. It'd be something smaller that you can just kind of click out of real quick. But I don't know. Send that into info, and we'll get it over to the right person and
UFS.
to see is okay. Well, this is definitely working. So I'm gonna. What a nice one today. Look at that thing all day long. Jeez. All right, let me see here. I can spend a little bit of time on the compare count window, and then I'm gonna have you go to. I think Jamie talks about it more in depth in the TI University. But here's a compare count window, and basically, and I started mine late, so don't pay any attention. I mean, since I went out of my. Anytime you go out of your layout or out of a window and you come back to it, it resets on these compare count windows. All right, so if you're not like me and pull up your default layout and just leave it on your default layout all day and you're moving in and out of other layouts, you might hate to use this, but say pin this window because otherwise if you leave and come back, it resets. So let's...
UFS.
Oh, you know what I just noticed? Let me see if that does that again. I had this covered, and I wonder if the alert it brings the window to the forefront. I don't know why. It seemed like that'd be, because it seems like when it just alerted me, then this window, this came back over this compare count window. See if it does it again. It should, because it's exploding again. Oh, do I have a... Oh, yeah, I have a...
GRPN.
Yeah, you see that? That's what happens. Groupon. So maybe the alert is if the window, like say you have your anything over that window, it's going to pull that window to the forefront so you can see it. I don't know. but we'll see what kind of answer we'll get. Because I guess they assume if you're looking at your windows, and you'll know which one it is. But if it's hidden behind anything else, it's going to bring it back up to the forefront. All right, let's dive into the compare count just briefly here. Okay, basically what you have to do is set up the different strategies. You see, we got green data and red data. That's going to be your only two options. Okay, you can't run a whole bunch of different stuff on here. It's green data and red data. You can configure it on this one right here. You can see I have new high. Okay, and you can see I have 1 minute volume has to be greater than 3 times normal. And this is just a hack that's taking out all the ETFs. And distance from inside market, just 0.2. So I think Jamie put these together. He's kind of copied his. Symbol list, you can see here, it's all symbols. Okay, so basically all that I'm looking for is stocks that are, market cap. These are big cap stocks, 5.4 billion. Okay, and they have to be hitting a new high, and they have to be doing it in 3 times normal 1 minute volume. Okay, the red is just the opposite. Okay, they have to be hitting a low, same thing, 3 times normal 1 minute volume. So pretty straightforward there. And then what it does, it just counts the ticks for you. Okay, and every time you get a new high. Okay, that one didn't do it now. Yeah, I'm not so sure what's going on here. But anyway, and then it just kind of gives you a tick, a kind of a line of stocks. Like since I fired it up, you can see there's a lot more stocks hitting a new high at 3 times normal volume than you have that are hitting lows. So it just kind of gives you a graph. All right, and some people, Jamie really likes these things, and I like them too. I have one up on my other monitor over here. All right, I got to lower my desk here. It's time to sit down. I've been standing too long. All right, let's see. Let me do just one thing just to make sure. Let me hide this thing over here. I cannot believe we haven't gotten an RBI yet. I'm going to hide this window over here and see if it pops up. All right, he is hidden, and we'll see if it's working. All right, we did get a RBI 5 come through. NAT. Okay, and here we go. You have at least 4 consecutive green bars. 1, 2, in this case we got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It just needs to be greater, 4 or greater. And then we had a red bar. Okay, so what happens is once this bar took out the high of, let me get my Epic pen, so you guys can see what I'm looking at here. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green bars in a row, and then we had a red bar right here. There's your red bar. So what happens is the algo senses or alerts you when it takes out the high of this red bar right there. Now it took it out, went up. Now, if you're using the confirmed, it's not going to alert you until this bar is complete. Like, see how this came back down inside this red bar? So if you're on confirmed and it closes like that, you would not get that alert. So some people like the head start. Some people afraid they're going to get candles like this may want to wait until it completes. But that's how it works. Datadog having a bad day. Holly call, looks like. Nice one. That's from, well, Must be from Holly 2.0. I'm not seeing it in the Holly Neo. Looks like that would be a Neo call. Let me put it on Holly 2.0 and see. Okay, now where is the data dog? Am I missing it somewhere? Ah, I forgot about Grail. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, Datadog's having a nice one there in Holly. Now we got some more RBIs coming through. Let's take a look. Sprouts. Here you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. We had a red bar, and then once it went through, we got got an alert on it. Next one is CPRI.
UFS.
Okay, it did work. See how that, Debbie? See this? It was hidden, and it pulled the window back up to, so it does do something. It's not going to give you another window telling you alert here or that, but it does pull the window, and I'm sure that's probably the answer we're going to get if we send it in. So that it pulls the window to the foreground in case it's hidden behind something. It's going to alert you that way. All right, let's take a look at Capri here. And even though this one is tight, okay, we got a tight one right here. We still, obviously, you can see the 4 bars in a row. This one was kind of a doji. If it is a doji, it will count it as a red bar. And then you had going through that high right there. Yeah, Debbie. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe there is something you can do, but I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, maybe the only I wonder, because I've never seen any alerts pop up, and I have used audio before, but I never have my windows hidden behind another one. So yeah, that's
UFS.
You must be running a lot of windows, though, if you have a hard time, finding where the alert's coming from. Or maybe you're just more, thinking, well, I'm not sure. You would get the audio. I forgot about that. All right, let me see. If we're buying Mosaic, you should look at If you're buying Mosaic, you should look at NTR. I work for, he works in the Potash. Okay, Potash. Potash? Is it Potash? NTR. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. They do have earnings coming up. It looks like on Monday. So one thing I like about Mosaic is they had earnings on this date right here, and that was a anytime I see a kind of a breakaway gap like that and moving higher, just below its 200-day moving average. And what I liked about it is holding this level. I kind of watched it, this kind of 6-month high here, and on that day, and it was holding it very strong. That's why I bought it in this day and then added to it. But you know what? I'll mark that one up that you just talked about and keep an eye on it. And that was NTR, because I really would prefer to get through earnings, but what I'll do is I'll just put an alert right here, and I'm sure if it has good earnings on Monday, it's probably going to gap up on Tuesday. Let's see, it's
RVNC.
post-market. Yeah, so yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye on that. CF is another one I think I have marked up. I was looking for a pullback in this one if it pulls back, CF. But Mosaic was my favorite one, though, as far as the charts and just the volume. I love when I see kind of 6-month high on that kind of volume. I'm on mute, Steve. Can you guys hear me? Testing? Testing? I don't even know where the mute button is on this software. And I've never even clicked anywhere near that. Let me see. Oh, you can't hear me? Okay. Steve's messing with... Go away, Steve. All right. uh, let's see, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, talking about the potash industry there. Yeah, a lot of RBI fives coming through now. I'm not going to dissect each one, but you guys kind of know what's going on here. See, this is why it's kind of smart to use a volume filter, even though this average daily volume is 400,000.
GRPN.
Today it's only done 94, so you can see how spotty that is right there. All right, these are starting to bug me. I got to cut them off.
RDHL.
And where's my master blast? Where's the other one I did? This one. All right. All right, let me check and make sure I'm caught up here. Mike C says RBI, unconfirmed red bar ignored, might be okay for scalping on the perspective minute chart. Have not tried the RBI GBI scanner yet for scalping. Yeah, a lot of people love it. It's obviously showing strength. Me, I've always been one to kind of like this stalk my setting. Look, I mean the stocks, look for those setups before they get that move. So I'm kind of hesitant to chase after 4 bars, 4 green bars. I will do it if I am scalping something like that. If it fails, I'm immediately getting out, because obviously it's come a decent way. It's exhibiting strength by all means, but that could turn quickly. Much like I've seen a couple of these, like that one. There's your alert. Ding. You buy it at 30, 25, 40, and next thing you know, it's down 20 cents on you. Boy, UFS, you can't stop that monster. Here's the great thing about our technology. Look here. If you're only looking at about 3 months of chart and you're clicking through, it's telling you be careful. That's what we call the red line resistance bar. It's showing you your next level of resistance. And if I scroll back, you're going to see it goes back about 6 months, and it's telling you there, be careful. There's resistance up here. All right, guys, I got about 15 more minutes. D-Dog just continues to get hammered. Maybe it has a date with right this level there. Now I'm all discombobulated here. Let me get my windows back like they're supposed to be. I'm missing my revenue fishing. Oh, interesting little chart there. All right, questions panel is open. Good example of one right here. It's consecutive bars, and that's the way they're supposed to work, you know. And you, oh, yeah, I had to scroll down. RDHL. Aja points out, yeah, that had a nice little move. A lot of times when you see after this can sometimes be a kind of an exhaustion move. I'm always looking for things like this. Obviously you can see this had a big run all morning, but look at the highest volume of the day right here, followed by a kind of a topping tail on this bar. So a lot of times, I'm not saying it's going to happen here, but that can kind of be a sign of reversal. Trying to think of an example where it happened the other day. I think it was Zincs. Let me look. Well, never mind. You know, I wouldn't have the daily chart up anyway. But anyway, keep an eye. If you're long a stock sometimes and you do see that kind of the biggest volume of the come with the kind of a tail, be on the lookout for a possible reversal, something like that. We'll and I'm not talking about a long time term reversal, maybe just, you know, pull back here to the 10 period moving average and regroup. And look what we have here. It's also running into some resistance right there. All right. My chart resistance line is extremely faint. Any way to change that? Are you talking about the red resistance line, Debbie? I mean, yeah, it shouldn't be. It's thin, but it shouldn't be faint. No, Debbie. The only time you're going to see the resistance line is if you're using a new high alert. You have to be using a new high alert. Okay, it's not going to work if you're using a top list. It's not going to show you any resistance. And you know, the only we use it for a new high alert because a lot of people play momentum. They're getting long the stock, and we just kind of want to show them where the next level of resistance is. Yeah. Yeah, and that answers your question too. There, not sure of the name, but there's nothing you need to do. The resistance line, when you're using a new high alert, Extreme Master Blaster has all new high alerts, and you click on alert, it's going to show you the next level of resistance. Like this Groupon, next level is right up there, so it could have maybe some push here for the next couple of days up to that level after earnings. Could see that. Darlene, we do not have a free trial. Okay, although we do have a 5-day refund policy. So a lot of people, that gives them comfort. We're comfortable that you're going to like the product and you're going to keep it. But we do give you 5 days to where if you don't like it, you can bail and get your your money back. Uh, so what you might want to do is do like on a Monday to make sure you get 5 trading days, because those are calendar days. So maybe sign up on a Monday morning, and that'll give you all the way through Friday to see if you like it. And I will drop you a discount code in there. And maybe for some reason I don't think it likes me using links. It's the only thing I can think of. I don't know why it won't. Let me just try doing it like this. Okay, that worked. Okay, use that link with promo code summertime to get 15% off either standard or premium subscription. Kind of sloppy action in the market right now. A lot of back and forth SPY, just kind of all over the place. Not surprising on a Friday. Pretty decent volume on that bar. We'll see if that's the start of maybe a move to lows. I doubt it. All right, guys. I got about 7 more minutes. Okay, Parker says, when does swing exits show up? Is there a? It's gonna appear automatically. Okay, what you want to do if you want to see them, you want to make sure you go to Tools and Options, and make sure you have Show Extra Chart Drawings. Okay, if I save that, and then I change my symbol to Apple or Facebook, it's going to show you the swing exits in there for you. A lot of people don't like the extra drawings. I kind of like my clean, because I know what I'm looking for, and I don't need little areas to tell me where to get in and get out. But some traders, new traders, it may help you out. But for me, I'd rather keep it clean. So I go to Options and uncheck that Show Extra Chart Drawings, and then save. So you got to make sure it's turned on if you want to see it there, Parker. Be careful with that swing exit though, because it's the formula we use. It could be for very long-term holds, So if your time frame, if you're like me, and even when I swing trade, I don't give it too much to the downside. I'm looking maybe for a 1%, 2% loss, and I'm bailing. First Solar long from above. Big pullback there in First Solar that I set this morning. Interesting. Keep an eye on that just in case. I kind of would put it in there for looking for it to, basically close on highs today and maybe pull back over 3 days to this level. But no, that's pretty gnarly there for it to give up that much. And it's not too bad. Looks worse when I had it on that 5-minute time frame. Johnson & Johnson coming through the RBI. Good example right there. There's your consecutive up candles. There's your red. What do we have? We had a break above that high and continuing higher. overstock is just amazing. Do you guys realize just a few months ago this thing was down like $2 and now it's over 100? It's just asinine. Just 6 months ago. Not even that, 5 months ago. Crazy times. All right, got about 3 more minutes in here. As soon as Barry cranks back up, I'll be flipping back over to Barry. Thank you guys, been some great questions today. Make sure to go down here and make sure I didn't miss anything. Take a look at the queues, see how they're doing today. Ooh, now no wonder the spies are getting. That's the first time I pulled up the queues. Let me get back on a 15-minute chart here. I fancy the 15-minute. Yeah, look at there. Queues going to lows. You're welcome, Debbie. You're welcome. Thank you. All right. You know what, guys? Barry's let me off the hook early today. He said he's already streaming. So I tell you what, I'm going to let you guys get back over in the trading room. So you just don't want you to miss any action and think in case something happens. Thanks, everybody, for your attendance and your great questions today. And have a great weekend. By the way, I'll be off next week. I'm getting out of Texas for about a week. Get out of this Texas heat, going up to Breckenridge and gonna just bask in the coolness. All right, guys, have a good one.